welcome to the July edition of HR Hot Topics. I'm your host, Jodi Schafer, and my aim is to make this the most informative 5-ish minutes of your month. Because we are in the month of July, heading into August here, for many of you, this is a month filled with time off requests. And so I thought I would dive into benefits a little bit more today. There's a SHRM survey that came out that stands for the Society for Human Resource Management. That is our professional association for those of you working in the HR realm. You know the SHRM website very, very well, but they have an excellent analytics section, and they've been surveying benefits that employers offer year over year over year. And so knowing I was going to talk about this topic today, I dove into some of the most recent research. I thought I would share some of that with you. Percentage of employers offering different benefits, and some of those are health and wellness benefits. Time off would sort of fall under that category. And then I also have some data on medical insurance, dental insurance, vision, et cetera. I know many of you that are small employers would love to be able to offer those benefits, but it is cost prohibitive often to do so. So I wanted to share some statistics with that. Okay, so first, when it comes to time off, many of you may break this out in different ways. Some of my clients have standalone vacation banks that often require advance notice to use. And then they have sick banks that are for those unexpected, unscheduled occurrences, often related to illness, but it could be perhaps, illness for a family member as well. It doesn't always have to be yours. And then many of my clients, many of the handbooks that we write combine the two into paid time off banks that could be used for anything under the sun. We don't really care as the employer. We don't want to get too far into the weeds on this. It's your time. Use it as you see fit, kind of thing. So I'll just share with you a little bit about how employers are using those benefits. Now, on this tool through the SHRM site, I could narrow the data a bit here. So I could do all industries, which I kept open. But I focused in on small employers, those that have 99 employees or less, and I focused on the Midwest. So in that category, 98% of employers are offering a vacation bank, 95 are offering a sick bank, and 75% lump the two together and call it PTO. So these are really high numbers. I don't think I have a single client that's not offering paid time off of some sort. And we both know whether you offer it or not, sometimes even whether or not it's paid, employers are going to take the time. They care about their own personal pursuits outside of work. They care about getting away and having some time off. And some just have very chaotic lives. And so whether you offer this as a paid benefit or not is no guarantee that employees will necessarily be at their workstation consistently and constantly. So many of my clients have moved, if they didn't historically have paid time off plans, they have moved to paid time off plans as a way to help control some of this and put some limits and boundaries around it. And so this survey just kind of ferrets out that this is a very, very popular benefit that employers are offering, and it is one of the top 3 benefits that employees expect and want from their employer. So if you have those in place, don't touch them. If anything, enhance them. Something that's interesting that not every employer has is a leave payout program, where at the end of somebody's employment with your organization, you would pay out any unused leave. About 57% of employers, based on this survey data, are doing that. I know in the handbooks that we write, we often tie whether or not we're going to pay out unused vacation time to certain things that we want to incentivize from that departing employee. For example, we want you to give us adequate notice. We want you to put the notice in writing. We want you to return all company property and equipment in good working order. And if you do those things, then we will pay out any unused vacation time that you may have coming to you. If you don't do those things, or the separation is not mutual, then perhaps we won't pay out. There's no law that requires that you pay out unused vacation time. So whether you choose to do that or not is your purview as an employer. But according to this data, more than half are. Another thing that is often tied to these time off programs has to do with a cash out program. So these are for employees that are still employed with you but it's coming to the end of that benefit year cycle. So maybe you're offering time off on a calendar year basis. It's getting to the month of December. You have employees that still have unused time sitting in their bank. Do you allow them to cash that out for the, at their hourly rate for the value at the end of December? Do you allow them to roll it over into the next calendar year? Or do you have a use it or lose it policy? All three of those things are acceptable. According to this data, roughly 20% of employers allow for a cash out option. For the ones that do, we have some clients that do this. A few of the reasons they like it. One, it's the month of December. It's a really expensive month for many of us. We have the holidays, we have taxes that are coming due, and so it's just a nice time of year for an employer to get a little extra in their check. And for some of my clients, they believe it incentivizes employees to be really judicious with when they take time off throughout the year, because they know that they could have this cash out option at the end. And for some employees, they would rather have the cash in hand than the time off. I know that's crazy because that's not a lot of our employees right now, but there are still some where the cash value would be actually more beneficial to them. So this gives the option for that. One final thing I'll just mention on leave here is a leave donation program. Now, it's interesting because according to the data, about 15% of employers have a policy in place around this. But I'll just tell you anecdotally, I have had 2 requests just in the last handful of months from current clients where they had an employee, a longtime employee, who had an unexpected, horrific thing happen to them. One, it was the death of a child. One, it was a really traumatic medical experience that was going to keep this employee out of the workplace for months and months. And the employer wanted to be as generous as possible with these individuals, certainly was going to allow them to max out their time off banks, but it wasn't going to be enough to cover the absence. And so wanted to create an opportunity for other employees who had time off available in their banks to donate some of those hours to the employee in need, which I think is a really wonderful opportunity, right? It's voluntary for sure, but to have a policy around that, I think is a great place to start. And in both of these cases, no policy had been written because who would think, right, that these traumatic things are going to happen? But it's life and it does happen. So we worked together, put a policy in place. It was pretty quick. We can help you with that, but just a nice thing to have. A few other notes here, and then I'll talk about insurance just quickly. There are other types of leave that employers are offering. About a third of employers in this small company range, 99 employees or less in the Midwest, are offering some sort of paid leave for new parents. This could be paid maternity leave, paid paternity leave, paid parental leave, paid family leave, paid adoption leave. There are a lot of things that sort of fall into this category, but roughly a third are offering that. Paid holidays, really, really common, right? This is coming out just prior to the 4th of July, but I know the 4th is right on the horizon. Many of you will take the time off of the 4th. 4th falls on a Thursday this year, so you might even offer floating holidays to cover that Friday. 98% of employers are offering paid holidays. 44% are offering float holidays. 1, 2, 3 is kind of the average. They could be used for times when a holiday falls on a Thursday, like the 4th is going to. Nobody's going to want to work that Friday, right? So maybe you offer Friday as a float holiday. For some organizations, they use that as a way to honor diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, for example, if Juneteenth was not a designated paid holiday for your organization, but you had employees that culturally felt like that was an important day to take off for them, they could use this float holiday and have a paid holiday for that. So, just a way to kind of honor folks with different ethnicities, cultural, and religious beliefs. So a lot of folks are doing that. And then paid bereavement leave is also a really common offering. 88% of small employers are offering paid bereavement leave. I'll just leave you on this for paid time off. I know I don't even know why I say 5 minutes anymore, folks. It's way longer than 5 minutes, but I get these questions a lot when we're putting together handbooks. Like, I don't know what's common, what's normal, what do a lot of other employers offer? So I think you'll appreciate some of the statistics here. When it comes to paid time off, if I go back to that for a moment, SHRM has put together average paid time off. And so I think this is going to be really helpful for you all. So I'm going to include this table in the notes section below the video. So you can key into that, and you can see for folks that are offering split banks, vacation versus sick time, what are the averages for those based on years of service. And then they do have a combined PTO bank, and again, average based on years of service. And it ranges from about 2 weeks to 5 weeks. So take a look at that. I think it will be of interest to you. And then I'll end here on healthcare, just to say that even though healthcare is incredibly expensive, it is also a really important benefit that your employees are looking for. There are some group buying plans that are available out there if you belong to any business affiliations, that whether they are industry specific, like the Michigan Dental Association, Michigan Optometric Association, et cetera, or small business related, the Small Business Association of Michigan, for example. Oftentimes they will have health insurance plans that are set up for your industry or for your size, so really tap into those. When it comes to dental insurance and vision insurance, based on this SHRM survey, again, small employers in the Midwest, 97% of employers are offering dental insurance. 89% are offering vision insurance. Those are the two cheaper insurances, right, as compared to medical, but something to take a look at there. And 90% of those that are offering benefits of some sort are including mental health coverage, and 82% employee assistance programs. So we recognize the need to really support our employee health, and many programs are designed to do exactly that. Now, I'll leave you with this. It used to be that our organization did not touch benefits. I mean, it's very compliance heavy. You have to have a lot of specific knowledge to navigate the ins and outs. That's always changing. And so we always stepped back from that until January of this year with the addition of Gin Gibson on our team. And you may remember our January edition of HR Hot Topics, we introduced Gin, but she is a benefits expert. She's a licensed agent, but prefers not to do the selling piece, really wants to focus on employee education and coming alongside employers and helping to evaluate your benefit programs. I know it might seem odd mid-year like this. Many of you have a calendar year renewal, but you and I both know end of the year is crazy busy, and to throw open enrollment in on top of it always feels like a heavy lift. And so I would just like to remind you all that perhaps if summer is a bit slower pace for some of you, this might be a good time to have somebody come in alongside you and take a look at all of your benefit offerings, not just the insurance programs, but things like paid time off, paid bereavement leave, time off for voting, paid volunteer time. I mean, the list is almost endless. To take a look at what you're offering, to maybe survey your employees, find out what's important to them, take a look at your budget projections for next year, and then perhaps have somebody like Gin help you really realize how to make the most use out of those dollars so that come open enrollment time, you are ready to go. And Gin, again, could come alongside you and then help educate employees on all the benefits they have, the value of those benefits, how to get the most mileage out of those benefits, etc. So this isn't something you have to do alone. As of January, HRM Services can come alongside you and help with that. And so I just really want to kind of toot Gin's horn on this because she is amazing in this area. And I think it's a perfect time to tune in and maybe take a look at something that we know is so valuable to your staff. So with that, I will leave you. If you're going on vacation soon, have a great time, and I'll join you back in August.